how they are. Their hints are very stupid. So like, she fucking goes. One day she's talking about fighting, and it's the same thing. Like you said, the fighting thing always leads to that like that sexual tension. It always does. So we're talking about fighting, and she's like, "Oh, I'll fuck you up, and then I'll fuck you down." And I was like, "Oh."
What does that even mean?
I was like, "Yeah, there's no way.
That's
There's
like
no
that's
way you
goofy
just
as
say
hell.
that."
That's goofy as
Yeah,
hell.
it's goofy, but it's like there's no way you just say that,
Negative
right?
risk,
Like,
bro. Negative risk.
I was like, okay, whatever. I guess it's time.
But as the script goes, Vanguard Rising.
There you
We're
go.
live, baby boy. Like it's time to
Yeah.
go.
All right. Welcome to the greatest colloquium captors in existence. I'm here with the boy, the human calculator with the numerical nomenclature, Raytron 123. And then you have me, the strongest man in the universe. He who
It's because I'm
guards
not
the
in the universe
guardians.
right now. I'll be back.
Vanguard. Oh, I'm in another universe. I'm in the negative zone or some shit. Um,
The null sector.
yeah. So let me tell you something funny. Let me share something funny with you. The other day I was on a date, right? And the date went pretty well. Took
He's
her to
out
the
here dating.
barcade. Took her to the barcade. But she didn't care about any of the games. Yo, the moment I entered the barcade, and this is something I keep telling people, something that happens to me very often. It's like the free stuff thing, where people just give me things or like randomly, like it's weird. Like this, there
Nah,
must be some
I've
kind
been
of
there.
energy.
You just walk in, you're
Yeah,
like, "Yo, what's good?" And someone's like, "Ah, here's a picture." Bro, that happened to me. I was like in a bar in my college town. I walked
yeah.
in, guy was like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey," he was like, "Yeah, I'm leaving here. Have this picture of beer." I was like,
All
"Thanks."
right, literally exactly what you described is what happened. Guy was leaving. He sees me about to like try and like get some coins, some tokens. He looks at me, he goes, "Hey, I'm leaving, bro. Here's $1." And he gave me tokens. And I was like, "Okay, cool." And the first thing I did is run over to that fucking arcade table. So
That
like,
pinball machine, you're like, ugh,
yeah, the
ugh.
pinball machine. 'Cause I fucking love that machine. See, brought her over there first. I'm playing because she didn't care about any of the games. And I did want to keep playing pinball, but I knew it's like pinball is a very focused and insular game. Like it's not something where you can just be sitting there talking. Like, nah, you can talk, but it's like I was trying to tell her, I was like, pinball is a perfect game for me because of my ADHD. I was like, it fits well with the grooves of my brain. Like it just works. But anyways, we don't even end up playing any games. We sit down and we're just talking for a while. We had like two tequila shots. And then what else did I have? I had a beer before she even got there that had two tequila shots. And we're talking, we're vibing. And then like Emilio is supposed to meet me. Now I'm thinking in my head, and a couple of interesting things about her. I think she was a little nervous or something. I don't know, because she like kept doing this thing where she was tapping, the nervous body language. Um, and whenever I would look at her, she would like zone in with her eyes, like zone in, like she's trying to communicate with me or some shit. It was kind of weird. But whatever. So we're talking, and she's your obvious like lib or whatever because she's a woman and also black, so they're
Oof,
all liberals.
oof.
Um,
All right, see you guys
not
next
not
year.
not
I'm gonna have
anything
to end this
negative.
short.
It's just they
Nah,
make
that's
up
fucking with you.
a lot of them are fucking liberals. They not even liberal. They're like leftist. There's like a little distinction there. So we have our
You're on the
conversations,
left right now.
yeah, slight disagreements a little bit, and then so like Emilio the whole time is on his way, and like I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna make this work. And then like as we're leaving, I'm like, oh, let's go to Lovers. There's another bar called Lovers. I was like, you want to go there? It's kind of a little more quiet, right? And we go outside. Emilio's outside, and boy, oh boy, did I see immediately that she was annoyed, that she was angry. And then, in hindsight, I was like, damn, you did bring a guy along onto a date you were on. I was like, yeah, that is pretty goofy, right? And
Yes.
then I see her on the phone. And glance over her phone. I saw like LMFAO in all caps, and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I saw this from the other person. I was like, oh, she's talking about what's happening right now. I was like,
That ass. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So then she's pissed, and then like Emilio's being Emilio. At one point, oh my God, he starts talking about how one of his friends, because like, okay, side story. This is like a fucking Tarantino movie now. Crazy part of the story. Emilio was driving, has wine in his car, everything, alcohol, all sorts of shit, and he gets stopped, right? And hold on, give me a second.
This man out here can't even finish the story.
Hold on. Give me a second. Nothing wrong.
Mm-mm. Anyway, so
So
what
anyways,
happens was Emilio does a
die.
triple backflip,
Yeah.
and then he like power slides the
No.
car. You've seen
Okay.
Akira. He just
Oh, like that. Like so fucking one of his friends, Skip. I don't think no, you never met Skip before.
Skip.
Anyway, Skip
Skips. I remember
apparently
Skips. Yeah, he used to be
Skip
walks.
he fucking tagged. He did a tag apparently, and it was like a big ass tag according to him and this other guy we know named Moose. Um, and like apparently Moose was in the car at the time, and Moose was saying like Emilio would always talk about how he cannot be arrested and all this stuff, and he always thought he was crazy. But then Moose said the cops came. The cop, because like, 'cause when Emilio was telling the story, he said he was like, yeah, just a bunch of fucking Jews. That's what he said. He said that, and I was like, oh no. And then he says they were pretending to be Chinese because there's a Chinese store and they were clearly the ones who owned it. And the phrase was so absurd and hilarious. The Jews were pretending to be Chinese. It just
Yeah.
it made me laugh.
Yo,
It
what?
made me laugh. But her reaction when you said Jews, there was like initial reaction. She didn't say anything, but you could see on her face. Then when you said the Jews were pretending to be Chinese, I think she literally made a sound. She's like, oh.
Yo, tell me you couldn't be like you'd be in the room. Say that man isn't your friend, and you hear that shit from across the way. You just like,
Yeah,
because that
yeah.
happened to me. Like I was listening to this story that was like being told like the table next to me. I'm in this like cafe, and he was like, "Yeah, I think he wants me back, but I cheated on him." I was like, I was like, what? And like I don't even think made a sound, but my reaction was just so strong that she looked over to me and I looked at her and I was just like, we both know that I was listening because we were right here. Like she was right here. Like that's how close these tables were. Like, yo, you know I was
Yeah.
listening, babe. Like, come on, you know I was
Yeah.
listening.
And you gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. Hold on.
This man out here.
So, anyways, he's telling the story and he says that the cop come and the cop go, okay. They go, do you guys have alcohol in the car? Emilio says yes. It's like, have you been drinking? Emilio says yes. It's like, have you been driving? Emilio says yes. Emilio admitted to the cops that he had alcohol in the car, he was drinking and driving, right? And then Moot said, the cop said, all right, get home safe. And then they arrested the other guy for taking the building. So they let him drive drunk, but arrested the guy for tagging the building.
Bro, I'm shaking. Bro, I'm actually shaking. I am.
Yo, I don't understand. Like the only thing I can remember that like I was saying like other crazy time when we were in the park with those girls and we were drinking and the cops came and the cop took my ID and I was like, hey, why'd you take my ID? You don't need that, do you? And he gave it back to me. I was like, can I have that back? And he
Bro,
actually
cops really
gave it
just giving me
to me.
tickets just cause, bro. I really just be driving. Bro, I will never forget the one time I actually got pulled over. I'm driving. I um switch like lane indicator, move to the next lane. I'm driving normal. I see the cop all before because they're clearly sitting right there. I look over and he's just like, literally just. I was like, what did I do? I pull over and he's like, you were speeding. I was like, what? What? I was speeding, watching you. I was watching you as I sped, bro. What kind of shit is that? And he was like, there you go. I was like,
It was a white guy?
no. I don't even, actually don't even remember. I actually don't remember. I don't think it was.
Seems like I'm trying to think. It sounds like because I always picture cops like that on the highway as like white guys with the reflector
With the
dad
big
glasses.
ass, like you can't see their eyes. You're just looking at yourself.
No,
Just,
not those, the other ones. You know the ones that have like some like angular weirdness to them. You know what kind of glasses I'm talking about?
they're not the reflective ones? Nah, I don't
They
know.
they are reflective, but they be like shaped like this. Like they could look like fucking Spider-Man lenses or some shit.
Oh, yeah. Eh,
Those are the
bro, but I
glasses
was
that.
shook because I pull over. I was like, "What the fuck did I actually just do, bro?" Like, and I
Those
sit there for a while afterwards. It was like, I should just go home. I should just turn around, bro.
are,
Like, cause like I was going somewhere, right? I was gonna go meet up with some people, and then I get that ticket. I was like, I should go home, bro. I just go home.
that was like when we were hanging out. You go home then too, and I can understand it was an annoying situation. But also because those girls were leading us around. That was. I still think back to that time as a very goofy thing to do, and I should have just abandoned those women. As soon as they couldn't get into the first place, I should have been like, yeah, fuck you guys. Like wandering around with them like that was fucking stupid. But like I literally still think about this sometimes. Like, why did you do that dumb shit? Like it doesn't even matter. Like I remember me and Eric were talking about this. Like the result doesn't matter. Because even though, they were really into us and they wanted it, right? Um, the fact that that first part happened is still goofy and dumb. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't change.
yeah. It was goofy. I like to not think about ever doing that because I wasn't there, bro. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
Honestly, I
yeah,
wasn't
me
there.
because I was trying very hard to stay present. I kept saying it out loud, and I was like, I'm
Bro,
trying to stay
I
present.
all I know is I should have left. Like me and
Yeah,
the other
me
guy
too.
who wanted to leave should have just left. Like
We should have just went to Lovers from Jump and left them and chilled with Andre. Um, but
you got in
anyways,
there anyway, right?
oh yeah, I don't think he was there. Yeah,
No, but like you
no,
got into lovers anyway, right?
yeah, we went to Lovers because one of the guys who works there knew me, so that's why they got in too.
Should have just went there first.
Oh, he didn't really know me. He just friendly with me.
It's just one of
Um,
those.
yeah. So, anyways, so yeah, Emilio tells that story, and then the girl is clearly bothered. And then here's where the story goes from bad to worse. So already her date has been hijacked, and she's clearly annoyed by this. And it's understandable that she's annoyed, right? Um, then we're drinking wine, right? And this probably made me look like a super fucking degenerate, passing the wine back and forth in public like that and drinking it. To her, anyways. So
Yes,
like, oh yeah, but I didn't give a fuck. They like that kind of shit anyway. They like when you're a little bit of a degenerate. They want you to be rough around the edges.
degenerate
Um,
behaviors. I could never do some.
if
Could never be me, bro.
only, if only like it fucking like could have zoomed in or some shit. Oh, I'm gonna have to
Just get
edit
an
that.
editor, bro. Just
Zoom in on you.
you
But
can add
anyways,
the so.
yeah. So we get in front of Lovers. We're like across the street from it, and we're drinking. And then like we finished the bottle. It's only a little bit too. And this woman across the street sees us who works there. The newer woman who acts kind of weird. I don't you
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about.
she's kind of rude. I seen her.
Yeah.
I seen her.
So like she sees us and she walks over because she makes eye contact with me. Then she walks over, then she goes inside Lovers. And then when we walk up to Lovers, the security guard immediately is like, "Yeah, the manager saw you guys drinking, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, it's not happening. Like you guys can't come in. He's like, there's a bunch of cool bars around here, but you can't come in." And I'm like, "Shit." And I'm like, "That's never happened." I keep saying that's never happened to us before. Like we've been drinking across the street many times, and no one ever did anything. But so she's annoyed at this point. She's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go home, right? And Emilio's like, oh yeah, we could walk. And then like at this point, I realized she's angry. I was like, okay, no, I'll at least walk you to the train. I was like, let's find the train. And Emilio's like, oh yeah, let's find it. Emilio's trying to help. I was like, yo, Emilio, I'll catch up with you later. I was like, I'll catch up with you later. Let me to get her home. We'll meet up again, right? So Emilio leaves, and I'm walking her home, and then I'm talking to her about the thing. I'm like, yeah, and she's like, I'm like, you can be honest. You can be honest. And she's talking about how it was a weird situation and it wasn't considerate and also, I can't really disagree with her. It wasn't,
Truth, truth.
yeah. So it's like, it wasn't considerate. And then I was just like, okay. I'm like, oh, well, you could give me and I'm playing along. I was like, oh, you give me how many stars out of five, you know? And she didn't answer. And then, but I was still making light of it. Like it was nothing. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
funny. Then I brought her to, then she can't find the train. We need to
That's
find
the
the
train
F.
she needed, bro.
She
F,
needs the F. And then like we don't, I mean, we walked
F.
past it. And I knew we walked past it because like I recognized the area we walked past, but I wasn't like she's the one who had the map and she kept going. So like
You know
and
people
like
can't
I
read.
did yeah, in hindsight, when we stopped and she was like, well, I think we might have walked past it. I looked around that we were, and I was like, yeah, I think we did. But then like she's like, oh, where is it? And I'm just like, let's ask someone, and she won't do it. So I just walked up to some random guys, like, "Hey, you guys know where the F train is?" And like they tell us, and we get back. And then, anyways, when I get back to Emilio, I'm telling
Maybe
him
she
about
knew where
that
it
whole.
was and she just wanted to be lost with you.
I'm guessing, but I was not trying to play those games. I wanted to go back to go do what I was doing.
It's like, yo, bro, there's fun to be had, and you not it, but like, get to the
Yeah.
train.
We could have went and did some. Nah, I didn't want to. I didn't plan on staying with her the whole night. I didn't want to do that. Like I wanted to talk to other people. So, um, and at the end, me and Amelia were talking about it, and like I'm just like, oh, she's probably not gonna. But yeah, she's talking to me again like normal, so we'll see. But she was mad in the moment, very angry, but she didn't want to admit it. She kept trying to like, oh, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm mad, and it's like, oh, shut up, bitch. You're angry. You know. But man, that was funny. That was so funny. And then yeah, we just spent the. Oh yeah, and Emilio, he apparently he did like a slide on some girl, and I don't know. I guess the girl started yelling at him or got mad, and then this Indian guy is trying to step in. Who's there trying to play hero, and it was just so funny because I'm looking at the situation and laughing, and it's like for a second the Indian guy must have thought in his head they're laughing at me. He's like they really don't take us seriously at all. It's like no, we don't. We don't take you seriously. And then later, I walked up to him and complimented his little satchel. He had like a satchel thing. So yeah, it's a nice satchel. He's like, "Oh, get your boy, man." He's like, "Yeah, thanks, man." He's like, "Oh, but you got to get your boy." And I was like, "Yeah, he'll be safe." I was like, "What? We'll keep him safe."
He's alright.
Um,
I'm here.
he's okay. He's like, nothing will ever happen to him. He's all right. But yeah, overall, 10 out of 10 night. Even the date thing, it was funny. It was a funny story.
Let me tell you what happened. Why I didn't show up. I was
Yeah.
invited to get some lunch, and it just
Okay.
took really long.
No, you got it high. Yeah. Did
Yeah,
you get high
at
while eating
lunch.
the lunch? Yeah. Edible?
You literally are supposed to meet this man's at 1, right? And I was like, okay, I'll hang out with these guys for a bit, and then like by 9, I'll go see you guys. And like 1, man's is 2, an hour late, so we are just chilling,
Oh, wow.
starving. We're just like,
I
damn.
was late. I was late too to that
Yeah,
date.
but
But yeah,
like,
keep going.
so we hang out with him, waiting for the other person to come. Then it's like the 5 of us. We go to the board game place. We playing board games. Then we get food. Then next thing I know, it's basically like 9, and they're like, "Yo, let's go back to the Brib." And I'm like, "What was I supposed to do? Say no?"
Yes. That was
So,
it.
so I end up back to their Brib, and we chilling. We ended up watching Raid.
The first one.
Yes, great, good
Yeah.
movie, good movie. I am full of alcohol, weed, and food. I
Yeah.
take a nap. I wake up and I'm like, all right, time to go home. And that's what I
Sausage
was trying
fest?
to call you guys. I was like, oh, they probably still outside. Actually, let me like call you
Yeah, we
guys.
were. We were outside till like 4. We were out for a long time.
Yeah, bro. I was calling you, but no one answered. I was like, you know what? I'll just head home.
Yeah, you
Bro, I
could have
got
met Moose.
stuck on the fucking. I was in Staten Island, bro. I got stuck. How the fuck
It
did
would
I
take
end
you
up
a
there,
long
bro?
time. It would take you a long time to get to us. We were in Staten Island.
Well, I was calling you at like 2 something, so I would have gotten there relatively quickly, but y'all didn't answer, so I stayed on the island until like 3, 4 before I left actually, and then
But
I was just like, bro, I was sitting on the train like,
yeah, I've been there. I've
and
been
I
there
was like,
before.
bro, as soon as I got home, I was like, yeah, I'm in my house, I can watch TV, I can.
Yeah, I do that too. I did that too.
It was
I
like,
always do that. I always have plans of what I'm gonna do when I get home and then I just go to sleep. But yeah, 10 out of 10 night. It was fun. Weird night as well because of there were a lot of married people out. That was weird. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that was all about. But yeah, we went to some new spot. Um it wasn't that lit there. But I mean it was lit, but just there wasn't many people. Um oh, it worked. Cool. So yeah, hold on, I'm just pulling up some notes. Yeah, it was a 10 out of 10 night. Yeah. 10 out of 10. But it sounds like you had a 10 out of 10 night too, so uh, I guess we can get started on the actual meat and potatoes of the time for a cleaning.
cleaning your teeth. You have a dentist appointment.
Yeah, no, there's this.
Well, all right. How about this? First things first, bro. This thing was scheduled for 9 p.m., bro. That's crazy.
I put 9 p.m.
9 p.m., brother.
I meant to put 6.
Dyslexic?
Can
Same.
you can
Anyway,
can you change it?
Um, I don't, I don't know.
Whatever, it's too late now. Um, anyways, uh, so yeah, the new year is upon us, right? And in a new year, there's new opportunity usually. A new day, there's new opportunity, to be
First
honest.
things
Not just in a new
first.
year.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah,
Merry
Happy New Year.
Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
At least you
Shout out
haven't
to like
died.
the three people that still celebrate Kwanzaa. I know y'all forgot about that one. Um,
Yeah,
just general good wishes to everybody. The year is over, and even
yeah,
if I'm not someone who particularly thinks that this is a signifier of some new beginnings, I hope you well in all your endeavors.
I mean, new time, everything's a signifier of new beginnings.
I'm
Like I
just being
said,
like this
new.
one. This was like I don't particularly consider this like, all right,
Yeah,
new year, new me, like type shit. You know, like it's just like look, it's a good marker. It is a great marker. It's a great marker. Like, all right, I have 365 days. Like I'm gonna do shit, right? But
hmm
look, man, I'm rooting for you. Just know that I'm
yeah.
rooting for you.
So, like I said, there's a every new year brings with it new opportunities, and really a new day brings new opportunities. To be honest, like every day is a new day for you to do to be better than you were before. So this year allows you to be better than you were the previous year. So, in that spirit, I wanted to talk about like seizing the day, like how you, like one of the ways you're gonna get your New Year's resolutions out, if you have any, or just one, whatever, is you have to seize the day. You know, you have to carpe diem. You have to really control it. And one of the ways you do that is by mastering your time. So, do you have any tactics you use to master your time, Ray?
Honestly, just get a calendar. Like we all got calendar apps on your phone. Get a calendar. Put that shit into a schedule. Like back in college, I was the most productive when I like put shit into my schedule. Like you know, like I used to even have like my class schedule as my phone background. So I look at my phone, and at any given moment, I was like, all right, it's 3 o'clock. I know I have this long before I have to go to class or some shit, or this long before I have to go to work. So that shit was it was just easier for me to be like, okay, I know how much free time I have, you know.
Mm.
So there was shit like that. I actually don't really like when my like calendar just like starts ringing like out of nowhere because I noticed at work like I would put things off until like September, but I wouldn't actively be remembering it, and then like September would roll around. I'd be like, by the way, tomorrow you have this thing. I was like, fuck, you know, it would throw a wrench. So like you should be more active about it. Like if you're gonna put something far out, have like reminders before. Like if it's in September and you're say you're in May, like have a reminder like every other month. But like, hey, by the way, in September this is happening. By the way, September this is happening. Something like that. Like,
Yeah.
but like I still advocate for getting a calendar, setting a schedule. Like I know people like to say that you'd get into a rut or whatever, but no. Like I genuinely believe having a schedule makes it easier for you to do everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do that too. I use like alarms on my phone to remind me of things I have to do throughout the day. And then even if I don't do it in the exact time that I'm supposed to, the alarms help me do it to begin with. Like I'm like, okay, I can't do that thing right now because I'm doing something else, but now I remember I have to do that thing, right?
Yeah.
And like you said about the rut thing. Like that's it's very dumb when people say because like you said, scheduling allows you to master the amount of time in your day, which shows you exactly how much time you have to be free and to do whatever you want. So you get to do the things you're supposed to and still have free time because you know it's important to schedule into your day time for leisure, like time to relax. Like you kind of you should do that. You should give your brain some time off. The cylinders don't have to always be firing, you know. And even if it's like a tiny bit of time, tiny amount of time, there has to be something. Because like even like I remember I was reading about this. Like if you don't allow yourself time to like let's say watch a video or do something before bed, sometimes your body will stay up almost like it's trying to spite you. Because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah,
You're literally just like trying to reclaim something, so you'll just like
yeah,
stay up. You're like, I don't know why I can't go to sleep. It's because like you did a bunch of shit you didn't want to do, and now if you're like fighting yourself.
exactly. That's why Nietzsche and others have talked about how self-tyranny is like a recipe for disaster. Like You can master yourself, but you have to remember you're working with yourself, you know? Like it's a game and you're dancing, you know? It's not like you're trying to force yourself down. You can't look at it that way. That's when your life can become dreadful if you're trying to, because like many people who are like workaholics, right? And they're like constantly fucking stressed. That's part of why is because they look at it like that. Like they gotta do it. They gotta do it now, now, now. You know, that's how they think. And like, it's a very stressful existence. Can fuck up your health and all sorts of things. Yeah. So, and another thing I think is important if you're gonna like, because I think you should schedule. And what I'm gonna do in the coming years, I'm gonna really schedule out my day. And I think it's important to have like moments where you like you notice the flowers, you know, like moments where you just like you gotta be a little spontaneous. Your day can't be so rigid. Like there has to be at least one thing a day you do that's just you doing something. Like maybe it's like a walk in the park or it's a fucking I don't know, you play basketball. You just go to the park and play some basketball, or you just something you do, something spontaneous, you know? To remind you of the value of life. Or it doesn't even have to be something you do, something you notice, or a hobby you have, just something to remind you that life is like that. There's moments to be explored, you know, and moments to be had in life to keep you to make you realize that not everything is what a part of this routine, you know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I generally feel like when you have no schedule, you end up getting into a rut because like you're like, well, like you'll wake up at a random time, you'll like maybe find some food or like you'll just like you'll that's when you really start doing everything the same every single day when you have no schedule. Like you're always like looking for something to do, and because you can't find anything to do, you just end up like, well, there's nothing new I want to watch on TV. So that's when you start rewatching shit. It's like, oh
Hmm.
well, there's no new games I want to play right now. So you would start replaying something. Oh well, food's too far, so you'll just order it from the same three spots. Or
Yeah.
like I feel like when you really don't have a set schedule or routine, you just start. That's when you fall into the rut pattern.
Mm. Yeah. And it's like it's a maw of mediocrity, as I put in the
Yeah,
book. And that's really what happens. Like you fall into the jaws of what do you call it? Oh, of depression. To be honest, because it becomes a depressive way to live when you're just a slave to your own passions. Like that's the real rut, being a slave to your passions, and you just can't. You feel like you have no self control, and it's not even that you have no self control. Is that you're not exercising your self control.
that's a quick way to hate the things that you love. Actually, like when
Yeah.
you have infinite time, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and build all of the Lego, and you just like do it all for hours and hours and hours. And you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I
Yeah.
generally don't even think it's because like you dislike doing it. It's just like you can't do it like forever. Like you can't do one thing over and over again and still like
Yeah.
find love for it if you have like nothing else, you know? Because
Mm.
like that haven't happened for me for a bit where I was like I generally didn't like want to play any games, but then like I like got another job and I had other responsibilities, and then I sat down and I played like what was it? I think I sat down and played Ratchet and Clank because I got the P5. I played the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart game. I was like, wow, I generally just enjoy exploring this area, like seeing how this game is different from that game, and looking at all the things that they did. And I was like, wow, I really enjoy playing games, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's so nice. It is so nice when you're just like when your hobbies are actually like you taking a break from doing everything else. When you're like when your hobby is all you have and like you have like no other responsibilities, you find like
It's not even just
you
that.
start
It's also
despising
because like
things.
those other things are still on your mind. So like you can't fully enjoy whatever game you're playing because it's like subconsciously you are thinking about how like you'll be thinking, oh man, I really should be doing that thing, but you're playing the game, you know? But
Yeah,
like if you already did that shit, now your mind is actually truly free to enjoy what you're doing. You're free to live in the moment, you know? You can't live in the moment when you don't have a schedule or a routine. Like you just You're constantly worrying about what comes next because you know you fucked up. You know that like there are things you should have done that you didn't do. You know? Um, yeah, let's see what else we got. So yeah, we talked about that at length. Um, the importance of spontaneity. We talked about leisure, scheduling. It's all about mastering your time. That's how you win this year, by mastering your time effectively. Um, so the other thing I want to talk about is this year is like a good chance to like if you have something you're trying to do, like something that is special to you, a passion, it's time to focus, like to actually focus on the
It's time to do
craft.
it.
Yeah. Like, what were you gonna say?
No, I agree. It's time to do it.
Yeah, it's time to focus. Like you have to limit the distractions. Like you have to have like a like because the thing is, it's like I was talking about that samurai. What was his name again? Was it Miyamachi? Hold on, let me find him again. I only remember his like Dokudo. So that's why I don't remember his name. I just remember Dokudo. Keep forgetting his name. Miyamoto Musashi, right?
Miyamoto.
Um, Yeah, so Miyamoto is like when you look into his kind of stuff and even others, what he talks about is like you kind of have to live your whole life for the thing that you want to be good at. That's how you become really fucking good at it. Like it becomes your purpose, you know? And when you do shit like that, it's like how like when other people feel like their life has no meaning, it's because they don't have things that are like that they live for. But when you have something you live for, your life just feels meaningful. Like it's important to you. Like it just like it's like you're not no longer a slave to the passions. It's like people are always saying, "I wish I was happy." When you live for something, it's like your emotions are there, but it's like you don't let them kind of like completely dominate you because your life has more meaning outside of your emotions and the daily day-to-day things happening around you. Because like when I would have like specific things that I cared about and they were like the primary thing I cared about, nothing could fucking bother me. Like
Yeah.
something would happen, I'd be like, that kind of sucks, and I'll just move on.
Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Tuesday, I'm getting this package I've been waiting for 2 years.
Yeah,
Nothing can ruin my day if that package comes and is delivered properly. Nothing can
yeah,
ruin my day, bro.
yeah.
Like,
2 years.
yeah, it came from China, so Bovid really
Oh,
messed it up. Bovid really messed it up.
Jesus Christ, 2 years.
2 years, brother. I am. I don't think you understand how
What,
happy
what,
I
what
am.
is it? What is it?
You're gonna have to find out on Tuesday.
Okay,
You have
okay.
to
You
find
gotta
out on
post a
Tuesday.
picture. You post a
Post a
picture.
picture, bro. I'm gonna post a picture of the box, and I'm gonna be like, "This is it, bro. You never gonna see me again."
Oh,
Oh
did you
man,
get a sex robot or something?
no, it is a robot though,
Oh my God. Yo, when sex robots become actually like
bro. You're gonna be beta testing them bitches, bro.
it's gonna be over. It's gonna be like what man is gonna want to deal with with any of that shit when sex robots exist and they're actually like
Good.
functional and shit. Like who's gonna like would you want to deal with with them anymore when you have a fucking sex robot? Probably not.
Um,
Like the
if
shit can
I
actually
don't know.
talk back to you and
Yeah,
shit. It's over.
I feel like there's no reason to talk to anyone if you don't even need to be a sex robot. It just needs to be a robot.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I
Yeah.
lonely, bro? Like I got Jeeves right here, bro. He's my best.
Yeah, these weirdos already fucking sit there watching girls on fucking Twitch and thinking they have a special connection
Bro,
to them.
bro, that's nothing. There are literally people in Japan marrying fictional characters,
Oh,
bro.
fictional characters,
They have
yeah.
hologram like weddings and stuff
AI,
and shit,
like
bro.
AI, yeah.
Nah, not an
Not
AI.
even
It's
AI.
not
Just
even an
like,
AI, bro. It's just like a fucking 2D render just like this. It doesn't move or nothing.
oh, they can't talk or anything?
No, it's just a fucking image. There's like, that's my wife. I was
That's
like,
sad.
I was like, ah,
Yeah, they done
yo,
bad.
you thought that birth rate thing was a meme, bro? The government is worried.
They done bad.
Oh,
Jesus
they're
Christ.
worried, bro.
And then they were getting mad at China for implementing some like boyhood thing into their curriculum and trying to teach boys how to be men and masculine. They literally have to. They have no choice. You got men out here marrying 2D renderings. Like they have to. They have no fucking choice. They're trying to save this, trying to save their race, trying to save their fucking species. Oh my God, that's some movie shit. Like, that's crazy. But anyways,
That's actually
back to
insane.
the yeah. It's important to limit your distractions and to realize like there's certain things you're not going to be able to do if you're trying to become really good at something.
Unless you're me.
Hey, see, unfortunately, part of some of that includes dating. Like you can't really. And when I say this, it's not like I'm on some like Sigma male thing or like never date, you know? I mean, I am on that kind of energy usually, but well, the reason I say you can't do things like date or you can have friends, but it's like you can't really, you're not gonna have as much time to socialize as you would, or as a generic person would, or as they call them an NPC, right? It's like because you're like this thing is your passion, and it takes up probably like
It takes time. It just
yeah,
takes
like
time.
70% of your day, probably 70, probably most of your life, probably like 70 to 80% of your life is spent doing that thing. Like if you're like an artist or something or some shit like that, or anything you're doing, it doesn't even have to be art. It's like if it's something you want to master, you want to get good at. Um, and like a relationship, it's not like, it's not on the other person. Like, well, if you're in a relationship with someone, there are certain things you have to do to keep a relationship alive. Like, it's just a relationship also takes a good amount of time.
It takes
So it
effort.
wouldn't
It
be
takes
fair.
energy.
Yeah, time and energy. So it would not be fair if you were dating someone and you're on your Sigma male shit and you're trying to do your shit, you're ignoring them, and it would just be a bad time. It'd be a very toxic relationship to have, you know? Um, so yeah, you really gotta like limit the amount of things you have to do. Like it's like I always say to people, like life is not about adding things to your life to make it better. It's usually about subtracting them. Like when you start subtracting things and making your life more simple and curated, that's when your life accelerates and things become so much better. Because there's
Yeah,
so
I was
much,
talking to the
yeah,
homie. He was like, "All I need is a box and a couch." I was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
yeah."
yeah. That's what I'm always talking to these people about that kind of shit. I mean, do you live a simple existence, Raekwon?
Um, maybe. I feel like
Maybe.
I'm borderline. Like I don't think I go too deep into the materialistic. Like I do have a lot of things, but a lot of those things are gifts. Like a lot of those things are gifts, right?
Yeah.
And even when I do buy into materialistic things, it's like it has a lot of like significance. Like I don't just buy merch for a show I like just because I like the show, right? Like I'm not gonna buy any Chainsaw Man merch because Chainsaw Man is the new hot like anime, right? I'm not gonna do any of that.
Yep.
But um, I did buy an expensive thing, but there's a reason, right? So like there are grades to Gundams, right? So my very first Gundam, like I got the entry grade Gundam. The very first one was called Seven Sword, and I was like, I eventually want to have like one of every grade. Just it's like the hobby I have. And I was like, here is like the highest grade of the first model that I have. And I was like, what a perfect way to complete the cycle, right? To start with this model and end with this model. So that's why I bought this very specific model of Gundam at the highest grade, right? But
Yeah.
like outside looking in, you're just like that nigga like spending money on stupid shit, and to someone else, yeah, it is stupid. Cause like I'm not gonna lie, like there's no real benefit to having this thing. There's nothing there. But I wanted it. I think it'll bring me joy. And honestly, these are things I'm gonna keep for the rest of my life. Like I don't get things and then I'm like, oh well, I'm not into that anymore, so let me throw it out. Or I don't do that. Like if I buy something, I will have it until it's fucking dust.
Mm.
So
I throw things away very often. I can't.
I don't get enough things where I feel like I should throw them away. Is what I'm
I mean,
trying
me
to get
neither.
at.
I don't throw away many things, but it's like I do like every once in a while. If I feel like there's something that's taking up space and I'm not using it, I will dump it. I'll just I'll throw it away. I did that with clothes. I remember it was my mission to only have enough clothes that it fit into this one dresser that I had. Because I was like, you don't need that many clothes, that much clothing. That's what I was saying. Um,
Yeah, I was about to get a second dresser, and I was like, wait, I should just get less clothes.
exactly. I was like, why do you need? It's like, why do I need so many clothes? You know?
Though I still might switch the dresser because I think it's a better dresser. I might just switch them.
Oh, I got a table actually. Got a new table
Man,
finally.
You got a table.
My mom bought it. She sent it to me.
Man's got a table.
Present. I gotta set that up. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. Anyways, back to we had a got slightly distracted. And so another thing when you're focusing on your craft this year, it's important to realize you have to start small. Um, like don't don't like go trying to do the hardest aspect of it, and then because then you're gonna get overwhelmed and you might fucking give up on it. I know it's easy to be like, no, you just gotta have grit and you keep going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All that stuff is true, but also at the same time, your body and your brain functions in a way where if you're putting it through too much stress, it will look at this and be like, yeah, this is not worth my time. Subconsciously, your brain will be like, yeah, let's not do that thing. It's way too fucking hard, and we have limited time on this planet. Let's do something else. It's a little easier, you know?
Yeah, that does happen.
Mm. So it's like, yeah, you gotta start small and make it like not too easy, of course, because there's like a perfect threshold. Where I was reading about this, not reading about it, watching it. I remember Versatium talked about it. Where there's
Veritasium.
that Veritasium, sorry, that perfect threshold where something is challenging yet easy enough that you can actually do it. Like it's slightly challenging, but easy enough for you to actually attempt it. And when you enter that state, it becomes perfect. Like it's great, right? So you gotta find that nice little middle ground, that nice balance there, where it's challenging. It's a new thing that's challenging, but at the same time, it's doable. You know, like you don't go to the gym and try to lift the heaviest thing right away, and then fucking break your body, and then the
Yeah,
next day you
it's
can't
a quick
go.
way to never want to go back to the gym again.
Exactly, exactly. Instead, you go, you test you test, find the thing that there's like a little bit of struggle, but you can still do it. And you're like, okay, here's where I'm gonna start. If that's 20 pounds, it's 20 pounds. Who
Yeah.
cares? Because then that touches on, yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I was green.
Yeah. Because then that touches on the other thing that's part of this. It's like if it's 20 pounds for you that is heavy and that's go for it and an overtime build, but you can't look at the person fucking sitting there with the 60 and they're just like and you're just like, damn, I should be able to lift the 60. No,
Yeah,
that's a
it's a quick
stupid
way
way
to
to
just
think.
fuck up. Quick way to fuck up.
Exactly.
Though I do have to go to the gym and lift 400 pounds because I gotta impress some bitches. It just has to happen, bro. Has to happen.
Mm, yeah, that's the other thing. Stop trying to. That's another when you're limiting your focus. Stop trying to impress fishes. Like, don't do that. That's a quick way to destroy your life and your. Like, I remember there was this guy I was watching. It was Coach Greg actually talking about how like these hood niggers and shit they'll become like scammers or like even drug dealers and stuff because in the hood community those were the guys that are like up there, they're put up there, so then they become that so that they can get women. And it's true because you saw those videos and the girls when they're like, oh, 9 to 5, drug dealer or scammer, and they kept putting like fucking
Yeah. They're like
scammer at the
drug dealer,
top.
drug dealer, drug dealer. I was like,
Idiots, man.
what?
Idiots.
What do you
Idiots.
mean drug dealer over? And their logical so it's like if he like working 9 to 5, he can't hang out with me. I'm like,
No,
he
someone
can't
was
hang
like,
out with you if he's in jail either, bro.
exactly. Someone would say like, "Oh, he'd be broke," and I was like, "9 to 5 doesn't mean that to show you how sad and limited their perspectives are when you live in a certain area, because in their mind, 9 to 5 means being poor because all the places around them there's only so many opportunities. But you could be 9 to 5 and work a fucking amazing job and make a lot of money. You know, like it's
Yeah, man.
possible, a
I'm
very
trying to do
rewarding.
it, brother.
Yeah.
My goal is to by the end of this year, move out. That's it.
Nice.
That's the main goal. That's the big one.
Yeah, I'm planning to move soon too myself,
Where you trying
but
to go?
trying to get yeah, I don't know anywhere. I don't really care. Yeah, heck, I mean, if you could find a spacious
Nah,
two
I'm not living
bedroom,
with you, bro. I'm not living with you. I'm
no,
not
no,
living with this nigga, bro. I'm
we're
not
not gonna
living with this nigga, bro.
be living together. And if you have
Nah,
a two
bro.
bedroom, it's
Nah.
like now
I'm
you
a
could,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
have a shorty. She gonna see this man and be like, ugh, what you do?
oh, Jesus Christ. But uh, yeah, my plan is to move soon as well. Like I already have it set up. But yeah, you can't really compare yourself to others. I mean, you can, but only like you should do it one to set an initial gauge. So if you look and you're like, okay, I want to be able to do this thing, and you look at like the levels in it, you could do that, but you can't keep like obsessing over what other people are doing as you're on your path trying to master something or master a craft, because like that would be a quick way to, constantly be like unsatisfied or dissatisfied, I mean, with your own results because you're too fixated on others, you know? Yeah. Um, let's see. Hmm. Oh yeah. And another thing, I was just talking to the boys about this yesterday. Another part of focusing on your craft is you have to realize that happiness is overrated. That like it's not you're not on this planet to be happy. I'm sorry. This is not how it is. Like you're here to enjoy your life, sure. But enjoying your life is not the same as being happy all the fucking time. You know, like you can enjoy a lot of things. Like you can look back at sad moments in your life and you know, be happy that they happen, like enjoy the results of them, that kind of thing. But it's like this idea that you're supposed to find this inner happiness and always be happy all the time. It's like, no, that's a great way to chase after hedonism and to just do whatever makes you happy in the moment. There are a lot of people living that way. And
Quick way to leave. Quick way to get
yeah,
into depression, bro. Because as soon as
yeah,
you hit that peak and you can't find any more dopamine, you're just gonna be like, "What's wrong
exactly.
with me?"
Yeah, it's a literal neurological thing. Yeah. If you're constantly chasing pleasure, you're gonna use up all your dopamine, and then what happens? You crash. And then when you now that depressive episode, you're like, oh, I have seasonal depression. No, you don't have seasonal depression. You just constantly do things for pleasure, and then your body naturally, the pendulum swings back. It's like that's just how it works, you know? Like there's a literal like fucking literature on this. Like it's a scientific principle. Um, so yeah, it's like, 'cause like I'll never forget when I was trying to explain to this girl. I was like, a lot. You can be happy doing a lot of things. Because when I said happiness is overrated, she acted like what I was saying was like the craziest, most bizarre and depressing thing she'd ever heard. And people often do that to me when I say that to them. But I was like, you can be happy doing a lot of things. I was like, there are druggies who sit there taking drugs all day and they're happy as hell. They're happy as hell doing that shit. She's like, no, they're not. I was like, no, they are. I was like, happiness is a biochemical reaction in your brain. And like you can literally, like a scientist can look at your brain when you're happy and actually measure the fucking happiness you're having and fucking can see when you're happy. Well, heck, he can see it before you see it. He can look at your brain and see you're about to be happy before you're happy, before you even know that you're happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I was trying to explain that to her. I was like, you can be happy being a fucking, you can be a serial killer, chopping people up, and you're happy as hell as you're doing it. You enjoy it. Like it's something you like doing, right? Um, So yeah, happiness is not something you should be chasing. You should be chasing a balanced and healthy life, and then from that comes happiness. Yeah.
Indeed, you're just like content. You got what you want. You're living life.
Hmm.
Less bad things happen because you set it up in such a way that like it's very unlikely that bad things would happen.
Hmm. Or even when they do happen, your life is like set up in such a way that it's like safeguarded, so you can recover from those bad things real fast, like much faster than other
Yeah,
people.
like bro, when you're sitting here, you got $0 in your pocket, and you catch a flat, bro. Just catching a flat is like world ending. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck, I need to fix this, but I can't get. I don't have time. I gotta go to work, I said, bro. Like just catching a flat when you're
Oh, and that
broke.
also gets into mastering your time. Because if you haven't mastered your time, when those things happen to you, you really don't have time to do anything.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, I still got to do that thing though. Damn, I'm just gonna have to put it off, and then you put it off and you never do it. It's like, yeah, it's all about keeping your life in healthy order and healthy balance. Yeah, because like even like, man, I'm so happy. Like, remember when I told EJ I wake up at like fucking 3:45? He's like, oh, that's crazy, but that shit, one, it allows me to do a lot of things before I have to leave for the day. Like, I be doing much more. Other people, they just get out of fucking bed and run to get to to get to the fucking bus. I get to get up, I get to eat, like you said. I'll do a little bit of cleaning. I'll like, brush my teeth, take a nice shower, and do my like mindfulness shit. And then like leaving so much space has saved me on so many occasions where I could have been late, where something could have really fucked up my day, and I was able to do it. Like even when there were times where I had to run to make sure I got there because of some bullshit. Um, I always think in my head, I'm like, yeah, if you had left at like just a little bit later, if you didn't give yourself that big ass cushion of time, this could have been world ending. Like it could have fucked you up. Yeah.
Because honestly, what I do is I will find out how long it takes to get somewhere. And say I'm taking a public transportation, depending on how frequently it runs, I will always pick the one that's like the one that's right before the latest. Like say I need to leave at 7:15 and that's the latest I can leave. I will get the one that comes at 7.
Mm.
And if they're very frequent, I would get the one that comes at like fucking 6:45. Just to make sure no bullshit happens, bro. If I
Yeah.
miss that 6:45, the 7:15's there or the 7 one's there. Like I'm
Yeah.
ready because it fucking sucks. Though, same time, this is a side note. If your employee is late like once, hop off, hop off, hop off.
Yeah.
Like they're
Like,
late one time, bro. Relax yourself.
it should be a grace period.
There usually
Anyways.
is a grace period, but like especially like, bro, we all know that the subway's kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
So I hate
In
when
New York.
you're late and you're like, yo, the subway stopped for 20 minutes. And they're like, well, you know that there's always things, so you should have left early. It's like, no, you don't understand. That shit stopped for 20 minutes, bro. 20 minutes. I am 6 minutes late. Do you not understand the math in your head that if this one stopped for 20 minutes, even if I was on the one, like, you not get it? Like, there was nothing I could do. That shit was just like bad luck. And it's not like this gonna happen every day. If the subway stops for 20 minutes every single day, yeah, I should get on this one. But I've been working here for a year, and the subway stopped 20 minutes once out of 365 days. That's just relax yourself.
Yeah, like relax. Like take it easy. Hey, take it easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
So
like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Shit pissed me off. Cause like, man, whenever I was working, and bro, I hate being late. But then when you like try to like berate me for being late, I'm like, nah, bro. Like I am at most 5-10 minutes late, most, right? That is as late as I try to be, cause I like will like get there on time. But if you just, yeah, it's like, oh man, you should have been doing this, you should have been doing that. It's like, you don't know what I did. You don't know what I did to get here. You don't know
yeah.
if I had like
You know,
murdered 3 people just to get here,
yeah,
like
yo,
just 10 minutes late.
I was just about to make a joke. Like you don't know who I had to kill.
Like what the fuck? And they're always talking out their ass and like, especially like, oh, don't you drive here? You drove here. You don't even know. You really don't even know what it's like being on these public trains and shit if you've been driving.
They're always like, you're like, damn. You'll tell them what happened. They're like, well, maybe you should have left earlier. It's like I did. Well, maybe you should. I did that too. It's like,
Yeah, I hate that. Where it's like, yo, sometimes bad things happen. Like say I was driving and I'm just like, yeah, there was a 20 car pileup on the highway. You should have left earlier.
it's like, what would that have changed? I would have still been late. It's like, would you
Like,
want me to leave it
like,
fucking?
like
Did
I'm
you want me
supposed
to
to
leave
predict that there's gonna be a 20 car pileup on the fucking highway, bro.
to see the fucking future? It's like, well, I'm supposed to leave 5 hours before I get to work. That way, I could be fine in the 20-hour pileup and sit in traffic for 2 hours and still get to work on time.
Yeah, I was like, yo, like, and I called you like, well, I call you well in advance. I'm like, hey, I call an hour before. I was like, hey, there's a 20 car pileup. I was on my way, and like I can't move. I'm stuck on the highway, and it's like, man, we gonna have to dock your pay. If you tell me some shit, I was like, yo, bro, I'll turn around right now.
It's
Like,
like I quit.
like I will turn around right now. Like if it's gonna be that serious, you can just not have me there. It's like, nah, you can't just not show. It's like, yo, man, I know it's nothing to do with what we talking about, but oh my god, that shit pisses me off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, it is a very annoying. Like that's why when the guy I worked with when I used to do security was cool because like, especially when he found out how far I was coming from, he was very understanding of when I was late because he
It's like, yo,
knew he's
man, this
like
is
that's
far,
long, and
man. It's like,
you're not traveling by car. I guess it would have been different if I had a car. Then he would like I guess have expected me to be there a little earlier. But yeah. Another thing that's important as you're honing your craft this year that you have to remember, or just in general, because this year should not just be about like new year, new me. It should be about creating a consistent and stable system to improve yourself. It should be a lifelong thing, not just a year-long thing, you know? Um, and one of the things that's important is when you get good, you have to get better. Like it's not about getting good. Like yeah, it's about getting good, but it's not like good is just like an end point. It's like a constant thing that you're chasing, like it's about getting better. So you have to keep improving over time and keep going and going and going and going. He's like, because even when I was like, I was explaining this to someone, I was like, they just kept giving me these compliments. They're like, oh, I was like, yeah, yeah, I guess you're right, but I need to change this and that. It was something I drew, and they thought it was very good, but I was like looking at the things I did that was wrong in it, right? And the things I didn't like about it, and they're like, oh, but like what's wrong with it? I was like, yeah, but the way I look at things is I'm always trying to see how I can improve it. I was like, this is how I think.
It's a very opposite reaction to the last time I gave someone some criticism. Cause like
Yeah.
yeah, like I was like yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. I was like all right, but you gotta work on that aspect, and they got so mad at me.
Was it a girl?
No, it's a
Okay.
mutual, no longer friend.
Oh, that guy.
Remember when you
Yeah,
used to draw?
yeah.
Like
God, that
yo, I'd be
fucking
like go, cause like you, bro, you know if you did something, I would hype you up, but I'd be like all right,
yeah,
that's it, that's the thing. Like you could do
yeah,
something right now. I'd be like, yeah, it's good, good, good effort, bro. Like you did that well, you did that well, you did this well. I was like, all right, but like right there, that's where you goofed up, you know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he
He did.
hated that shit. He
Yeah, he
hated
did.
that shit.
And he with his rapping, same thing. Because like I wasn't just being a dick. Like when you look back at me criticizing him, I would have actual fucking things that I was saying. It's not like I was just being an asshole. Like, oh man, you can't rap, nigga.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is not it, and here is why. And then he's like, man, that shit was good. I was like, no, 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 it was not good. And here are the reasons. Here's the constructive criticism, bro. Like I don't know if you want to just like hit play and me, but oh, we getting out the hood with this, bro. No,
Yeah,
like, yo, no, like that shit was
everybody
garbage.
fucking announcing
Dig,
a
dig,
fucking
dog shit. You just
oh.
stepped in it.
Just so you guys know, he didn't make that up. It was an
That is
actual
literally
lyric
what he
that the
wrote.
guy had.
He wrote to us. Should I
Dig, dig,
find
dog
it?
shit.
Should I just
You
find it?
just
Should I just
stepped in it.
perform the entire thing?
Holy, let me see. Let me find it.
Oh my god.
But
What was it?
no, it might have been something he recorded. I
I
don't
think it
think
was
it
a
was.
voice message. But I think it was like, dig, dig, dog shit. You just stepped in it. Fabric
Yeah,
shoe seeping in.
yeah, it's in the fabric seeping in. Oh, we have so many references to it.
And I was just like, bro, I think my main criticism was like, yo, bro, why dog shit? Why did you make an entire thing about dog shit? I know
Damn.
we sound like we're hating, but like I generally did try to like give him
I,
some,
I'm
because
seeing
bro,
one of
like
the
your man's
funny.
came to you,
Oh man, I can't show it to you. I'm seeing one of the
my
funny
man's
fucking
came to
memes.
you and was to rapping about dog feces. Like, what was I supposed to do?
Yeah, yeah, I can't find the original. Damn, damn. I don't know where the original is.
It's
But
in one of the like 3,000 chats we have, bro.
yeah. Yeah, you can probably find it 'cause I think you're still in a lot of those the
Or did you
chats.
leave them?
Yeah, I don't think I'm in some of them. Dig dog shit. Man them name boggles.
My name Buck.
Man them name boggles.
Oh man, no, that's funny. My name.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Oh, they even have that fake rap I came up with. Remember the Adolf called me Tiger because I'm playing all talking balls into your white mouth from her navel to way down south. Oh my
All right,
God.
Kanye.
Yeah.
All right, no, stop.
But anyways, yeah, I remember one time he drew something for me, and it was very bad. Like it was like supposed to be a werewolf, and like I don't know if you ever seen that show Fang Face, but when I envisioned that idea for Deathband, and he had his werewolf form, it was very inspired by Fang Face. So he was supposed to Fang Face has his like backwards cap that he wears when he's in werewolf form, because he wears the hat in his normal form too.
That sounds so
And
goofy. I'm
like,
not gonna lie to you.
yeah, it was a cartoon. It was a cartoon. So like in the thing,
I
the
just
character
imagine
like
it's like, kids, Fang Face says drugs are bad.
yeah. Well, he doesn't turn it back. It's already back.
I
And
know,
he
but I'm just like imagining like he's wearing like a yellow shirt with some really like bright neon stripes around the thing. The cap is backwards. You know, he's
yeah.
wearing ripped jeans, and he's just trying to relate to the young
Now the show
generation. It's just kind of goofy in my mind. Now, I'm not saying this is what your idea is, but that's just like what popped into
yeah,
my
the
head.
Angry show. I think that shit came out in like the 1970s or something. So I don't think they were in that 90s try to relate to the kids kind of thing. I mean, they were trying to relate to the kids in the 70s too, but they did it with mod fashion back then. All the characters would be dressed in like a very mod way with the bell-bottom pants and shit. Well, anyways, he drew the picture and it was very bad. Like, it was supposed to be a werewolf, but it just looked so goofy. Like it just didn't look like it was like a thing where he was trying to make it look realistic, but then also it just the proportions were weird. I didn't like it, and I was like, "Hey, I don't know. I wish you could change." And then immediately he started insulting my idea instead. It's like, "Well, your shit is just kind of goofy and stupid." And I was like, "What the fuck?" So I didn't even. I asked you to draw something for me. And you're insulting the thing I had. I was like, "Okay, fuck you then. I'll never ask you to do that again." That's what I told him. I'll never ask you to draw. Like man did not know how to take criticism, and that's why he was never going to improve because
I
he was
mean,
just chasing after the idea of a thing just to say he did it, rather than I'm going to become proficient at this thing. It was
yeah,
just I'm gonna do thing. Yeah. Um. All right. Now finally, we can top this all off with the idea of mindfulness. Mindfulness
mindfulness.
gets a bad rep, but it's very important. It's
What do you
very
mean by
important to be
that, though?
mindful.
What is mindfulness in this conversation?
So when I talk about mindfulness, I just mean like it's like being mindful of yourself, be caring for yourself, self-care, that kind of thing. It is a very important thing to do, especially if you're about to embark on a very, you know, like arduous journey. Like you have to, your self-care has to be tip top. So part of that is finding balance. Like, if you're gonna work hard, it's not like a party hard, play hard kind of thing. It's more like if you're gonna work hard, you have to have moments where you rest. Like you have to rest. Like you can't sit there working yourself to the bone all the time. Or if you're gonna work yourself to the bone, you have to have moments where you equally allow yourself to rest very like deeply, like actually rest too. I'm not talking about no being on the phone with your boys and texting. Oh no, that's not resting. You're still using your brain. It's like no, rest. Actually rest. Lay down, take a nap or something, read a nice little book. I don't know, just
Do
relax.
something.
Yeah. You gotta unwind, you know?
Tomorrow's the first, right?
Yeah.
It
And then
starts on a Sunday. The
yeah.
year starts on a Sunday. Pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty
It's
good,
not
actually.
something. Yeah. But in addition you have to be able to find that inner peace. Like you should be able to finding balance within yourself is another important aspect. Like you have to try to see how to explain this. It's like you have to be able to allow yourself certain like allowances. You have to have allowances. Like you have to know that like you have to actually be considerate of your feelings inside while also trying to put yourself in order. Like it's like I said, it's like a thing where you're dancing. It's like you're working with yourself, not working against yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's where that inner balance comes from and trying to really keep yourself what do you call it? On the straight and narrow. Because like if you're constantly trying to force yourself into doing things, it's gonna make your life a very miserable existence. But at the same time, if you're always listening to every single passion that passes your brain, you can also live a very miserable existence, you know? That's not inner peace. Um, yeah, so you have to find the things you actually care about and try to live your life in accordance with those things. And then, and we kind of just talked about this, where mindfulness is a great way to avoid burnout, because something that it's a real thing, it happens, it actually exists. If you work yourself super hard for a long time, you will experience burnout, which is why it's something you just have to expect. So you can mitigate it by knowing it's gonna come, and then like maybe scheduling something to like take a break and to relax to meet that burnout that's that's coming for you like a fucking freight train, so you can move with the train instead of getting run over by it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, one of the things mindfulness helps is it helps you mitigate that burnout or even avoid it entirely. Not really avoid it entirely, but like avoid the consequences of burnout because burnout can last for fucking years if you don't really see it coming. Like you just lose all motivation and hope because you were fucking working yourself to the bone for so long. Um, and finally, the other thing about mindfulness that makes it very important, or it's something that you should partake in, is a lot of it involves knowing thyself. You know, like huh, you have to really know yourself, right? Um, like I spend a lot of time thinking very deeply about the things I do, the things I believe, and trying to find the motivations and behind them, wondering if the rationalizations I'm making are like false rationalizations. And this allows me, one, to know, to really know when I won't, certain things that I won't enjoy and to avoid those things. Like it makes me live a very a very happy existence because I know what I don't like and I avoid it, right? But then at the same time, it also like it helps me make smart decisions and also helps me like when I get into discussions because like other people I feel like they just say shit and it's like it
People
doesn't
really
mean
do just be
anything.
like
Yeah.
saying shit, and like you ask them,
Yeah.
it was like, "Yo, elaborate." They're like, you know,
Yeah,
like
like,
they're just like frozen. You're like, you were just speaking out your ass, huh?
yeah, yeah. And like when you know yourself and you come to like yourself, you come to enjoy yourself, it allows you to find a lot of inner strength. Like in moments where like other people need constant attention and constant people to make them feel like life is worth living. And it's not me trying to say socialization is bad. Like you should definitely socialize, it's very healthy. But there's a difference between socialization and living for other people. You know what I mean? Like where like you've met those kind of people where they just like a person who can't go 10 seconds without being in a relationship. Like they get out of one, they have to jump into another. Like they don't
Yeah,
feel like they're at work.
I hear about the that specific situation a lot. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
sis, relax yourself.
yeah. It's like they feel like they have no worth. But when you know yourself and you spend a lot of time thinking about yourself and analyzing yourself, those moments when you're alone, they're just peaceful moments. You like them. You're just like, oh, I enjoy my own company. It's okay. That's why mindfulness is very important. It'll help you a lot on this whatever journey you have this year. And like I said, it gets a bad rap because there's a lot of garbage mindfulness stuff out there talking about attracting things to you with your mind and all sorts of goofy shit like that. Um, but like on a very practical level, mindfulness makes a lot of sense and it can help you move far. Like you don't have to be like this is not really that related, but it's like on the topic of like the goofy like pop mindfulness things that come into play, right? I was talking to this girl and she was saying I was telling her I was a spiritual person, right? And she's like, "Oh, if you're spiritual, that would mean like you believe in spirits, right?" And I was like, "No." I was like, that you don't have to believe in spirits to be spiritual. And she didn't get it. I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Being spiritual is more about like believing there's like a meaning or rhyme to life in general. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
like you can believe in I was like I do believe in a spirit, but not in the way you see them in movies like Casper or anything. I was like I believe that there's energy in us that is recycled back into the universe. Like I believe that. And like I believe that energy does things and there's a cycle. And I feel like there's like it possibly goes a level deeper than science, but I wouldn't be able to prove it. I was like that's what I believe. I don't believe in fucking ghosts. I was like
You don't
I
believe
don't
in
believe in
Dumbledore?
that shit. Yeah, no. And I'm not gonna be the one to prove whether or not they're real. Like if you try to put me in a Ghostbuster outfit, I'm giving it back to you. I'm not, I'm not doing
They're
it.
like, yo, Vanguard, we need you to go tackle these ghosts. No, you don't.
Nope.
No, you don't.
I remember it's like I remember me and fucking Jason would always joke. on how if we were superheroes, anytime, yo, if John Constantine came talking about some demonic thing, I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. It's like,
I'm
but you were
good,
just fighting.
bro. But Trigun is coming back. He's like, I guess
Okay.
he's staying here. I don't just tell
Okay.
you.
Like, yeah, but you were fighting Darkseid the other day. I was
That's
like,
not the
yeah, but that
same.
nigga's immortal. He live in space. Like he's just some like space devil.
He
That's
is some
different from
guy. Like I
yeah,
know his son, bro.
yeah. He's space devil. That's different from the real devil. Like I'm like, fucker.
It's like I met Orion. Like we are homies. I was at the wedding.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
like I'm
know
not.
Darkseid bleeds. That nigga Trigun. You know those
I don't know.
rivers of lava? That is his blood. Do you understand what it's like? Like I've seen this nigga's blood flow outside his
Like
body.
imagine,
Nah, can't do that.
like imagine how hard you have to be to have blood that is fucking lava. It's like imagine having that shit going through your veins.
But you wanna? This is completely unrelated. But one of the adventure timelines that I got reminded about that's like very surreal is like there's a character called Moon. Like it was a vampire. Her name is Moon. Like the orb in the sky, Moon. Right.
Yeah.
So Finn and Jake are distracting her or whatever, and she says, let me look up the exact line because
Yeah.
um.
Let me get some to keep talking.
So the line is actually very, very crazy. It's very creepy. Here it is. But it's a video. I don't want it to be a video. Here it is. But he's not even here, bro. He's not even here to hear how creepy this shit is.
You're
but,
playing video?
so Moon says, "You run in the path of my light. How can you lead me when I'm your guide?" And Finn literally paused. He was like, "Is she speaking literally or metaphysically?" And they were just confused. Like Jake's not with the shits, bro. I fucking love Jake. Anytime it's some real supernatural spooky vampire shit, Jake is like, leave me out of it, brother. You want to go fight? Literally like that shit. He's like, oh, you want to fight space demons? I got you. You want to fight real demons? You're on your own.
Yeah.
It's like like Jake will go to the center of the earth and box a lava god, right? Like, but if he's like, oh wait, is that person actually from the Nightosphere, the other alternate side, the spirit? Nah,
It's like, nah, I'm good on that one, Chief.
nah, I'm gonna not. It's like,
Well,
but
anyways,
that shit's
go for it.
crazy.
Oh.
Not crazy.
Anyways,
You changing shit,
everyone,
bro.
Happy New Year. Hope you get to accomplish whatever you get to accomplish, and remember, a new year is not just you're not living for the year. You're trying to do something for the rest of your life. Like you're trying to improve your life. You're not just doing something for the year. That's not how this works. Anyways,
Could be.
what were you gonna say? Yeah. Anyways, Vanguard out. All right. Yeah, I'm getting ready to leave now.